Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular city council meeting. It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. The time is now 7 o'clock p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent meditation. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item is roll call.
Mayor Scott Nickel.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Frank Burton.
Here.
Councilmember Adam Dyer.
Here.
Councilmember Hamilton Boone. Councilmember Shauna Hume. Here.
Okay, next item is excusal of council members. I would entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Boone.
Councilmember Boone.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Hume, second by Deputy Mayor Gurton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Next is additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda, if any. Does anyone on council have any changes or additions they'd like to see? Okay, hearing none, I'll move on to presentations, proclamations, and introductions. First one is Fire Chief David Lewis will be introducing the newest Certified Firefighter 2. Chief Lewis.
Mr. Mayor, that's an old agenda. Let me
Oh,
get your
I'm
current
sorry.
one.
Where's the revised one? Oh my God. Where's my revised agenda? Yeah, my laptop isn't functioning, so. No, you sent it to me email-wise, but my laptop, it died, so. Okay. We don't have anything for presentations, proclamations, or introductions, so never mind. Next item is approval of minutes. First is the July 23rd, 2024 Fraternal Order of Police Tentative 3-Year Agreement Shade Meeting Minutes. Need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the Fraternal Order of Police tentative 3-year agreement shade meeting minutes from July 23rd.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dyer, second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. The second minutes are from the July 23rd, 2024 regular council meeting.
Make a motion to approve the 2024 July 23rd regular council meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dyer, second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. On to reports. First is the city manager's report. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council members, residents gathered here and watching at home. First item is update on Cheyenne Boulevard sidewalk project. Staff solicited bids for the construction phase of the project and received 2 bids. Unless otherwise directed by council, I'll proceed with the following tasks. Award of site contract for sidewalk work in the amount of $28,200, excluding removal of vegetation, sodding, and striping, which will be done by others. Acquire a quote for a crosswalk striping. Begin the process requesting Brevard County to release the approximately $48,000 in city transportation impact fee revenues, and then eventually execute the project. Of note, I checked with the county today, and the city's total transportation impact fee being held in escrow by the county is approximately $450,000. Next item is South Patrick Sidewalk Connections by FDOT. As detailed in the email that was attached, part of FDOT's future repaving of South Patrick, they are going to fill in some gaps along South Patrick to city sidewalks, In exchange, the city agreed to maintain the sidewalks post-construction. Gleason Park Restroom Project. Yesterday, staff held a pre-construction meeting with the contractor and the design team. Construction is expected to commence in late September. Staff recently reviewed 100% construction plans from ISS for the Alhambra Stormwater Project, which is 100% funded by DEP ARPA money, and anticipates receiving the 100% construction plans for Atlantic East and West projects within the next few weeks. All three projects will be bid out via request for proposal in the near future. Additionally, we anticipate receiving the construction plans from Ronnie Stormwater Project, which is DEP funded. All four projects must have their construction contracts signed by the end of December due to the ARPA funding requirements. The update on Algonquin Sports Complex expansion project. We anticipate 100% construction plans to be received in September, with bidding via request for proposal to follow immediately. This project also has to have the construction contract signed by the end of December. The city's new short-term rental compliance system is now fully functional on our website. I will quickly go to it to show you the map feature. This map, which will be updated at least on a monthly basis, is color-coded. Black means not applicable because it's an R3 zoning. Green is registered with the city, and red is not fully registered. I can tell you all the red dots are in the process of being registered. There is information for folks who own short-term rentals on our site, and information for folks who live next door who may have problems with them. We will be highlighting this new website and information in the next edition of the Harbor Highlights. Another enhancement coming soon is our C-Click Fix system, which will allow residents either through texts on their cell phones or through traditional website interface to text questions or concerns directly to staff that will go through the city servers and automatically archive them for public records retention. This, I believe, will help ease residents' ability to interact with myself and staff because, as we all know, a lot of us like using our text feature on our phones more than sending a traditional email. I anticipate soft rollout of this system in September, and this also will be highlighted in next Harbor Highlights. Chief Butler was pleased to provide a copy of the letter from the governor's office, documenting that once again the audit of our victim rights program is in 100% compliance with the standards. Employee recognition. Chief Butler received a thank you note from a citizen about Officer Perez and Sergeant Newman for their response to a resident who had health issues. Additionally, he received the attached letter and email from a resident who wanted to thank Sergeant Wimmer, Corporal Gannon, and Officer Claremont in their quick compassion and response to a medical emergency at his home. Communications Officer Brinkman also participated in quickly resolving this issue. Finally, Chief Butler received attached email thanking Officer Perez and Corporal Oakes for basically saving his life. He was having a medical emergency, and his wife called 911 for help, and they arrived and provided CPR, and the gentleman was transported to the hospital and made a recovery. The next meeting, August 27th, tentative agenda is first reading of Ordinance 2024-03 to amend the noise ordinance, resolution number 757 establishing standards for measuring noise, employee insurance renewal and liability and workers' comp insurance renewal. A couple upcoming meeting events I'd like to point out is on Tuesday, September 3rd at 7 p.m., we'll be holding a beach parking workshop in this room. And the two dates for the budget public hearings and millage have changed from the traditional Tuesday night meetings to the first one will be Wednesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. And the second one will be Monday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next is city attorney's report. No report. Next is council comments. Anyone on council have any comments, starting with their deputy mayor?
No comment.
Okay. Councilmember Hume?
No comment.
Councilmember Dyer?
No comment.
And
Let me come back.
No. Go ahead.
We got to loosen up here. We did attend the conference last night, Space Coast, and it was hosted in Cocoa Beach. Shauna was there. We had a good speaker talking about Brevard Zoo and the expansion over to Cape Canaveral, what's being planned out there, was really impressive. Really, really impressive. Anybody's connected to Brevard Zoo, that you know what's going on then. But it was enjoyable and informative, and we're looking to bigger and better things on the Space Coast.
Okay, thank you. Next is public comments on agenda items only. There are several things on the agenda that I will allow the public to speak on. There's some public meetings as well. So my suggestion is if it's on the agenda, just wait until that time and you'll be given an opportunity to speak at that time. Okay, on to unfinished business. This is item number 4, proposed noise ordinance. First thing we have to do is remove from the table the first reading of ordinance number 2024-03 and table it again to the August 27th, 2024 meeting.
I'll expedite this because I remember this from last time. So I would like to make a motion to remove it from the table and then retable it to the August 27th meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Dyer, a second by Deputy Mayor Gerton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 2, review the revised draft ordinance number 2024-03 and provide direction to staff regarding any further changes prior to first reading scheduled for August 27, 2024. Do I need to go ahead and read that ordinance in the record? Because it's really not, it's not first reading, so I don't have to, okay. That's what I thought. Okay, City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. For folks who may be attending for the first time tonight, the City Council first held a workshop on May 21st to review noise ordinance and hear from the public. A proposed new ordinance which has better definitions of acceptable noise level under certain circumstances and enforcement methodologies and increased fees was developed. On July 9th, the City Council identified areas of concern and requested staff revise those and bring that back. Those changes have been made. This is to confirm that the changes meet the council's intent. City Attorney Bone is here to answer any specific questions. We get to the language. The red indicates what has been changed from the last time you formally reviewed this. So Mr. Bone and I are here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and open this up to public comment. I do have 4 speaker cards. And we'll go ahead and start with that, and then we'll bring it back to council for discussion. First person I'll bring up is Kristen Cole. You come up and state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Kristen Cole, 1940 Highway A1A, Tide and Tonic, Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. So we've made a lot of changes in the last couple weeks. We've changed our music venue. We're more of a solo duo music venue than just a big venue where it felt like all the drums and all the things that were happening. I really appreciate our neighbors, and I want them to support our business. We are a restaurant first, and if you have some cocktails, that's great. And if you like the music, that's awesome too. But we've really spent the time changing our venue. We still want to have fun. We want Motown trivia. We want to have a good time, but we don't want it to be a rock concert where everybody feels like they can't talk to each other or it's super loud and imposing on our residents behind us. But I also want to say that, $500 is a lot of money, that if we got a little bit loud or a trumpet played or something happened, that it's like $500, because I've had a lot of tickets and you know that. I hope that you be open-minded and following the other cities' laws that they have in place that are really standard. We are doing everything we can to be a community restaurant, place to go with the kids and the family and all age groups, all music, all genre, all places to go. Because it's not just about eating at a restaurant, it's also about having a good time, and we want to be like the Cheers of Indian Harbor Beach. So we ask that you please consider that when you're making your decisions in the noise ordinance decibels and where it's located and what the fine is. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to get this name right. I think I butchered it a couple of times before. John Kevin Dunleavy. Closer. Wow. Oh.
Good evening. My name's John Kevin Dunleavy, 121 Launches Circle. And just want to take a moment to say I was recently on vacation. We were staying next to an airport. We were so happy at how quiet it was when we woke up in the morning. And my wife was crying when we talked about coming back to our home. We've returned home, and we've had over a week of peace and quiet. And I want to thank you for the changes that have happened. And I want to thank the board for looking into this situation and making improvements. And long term, I think the things that matter is that we work together as a community, but also that we have appropriate guidelines and appropriate enforcement to make sure that we're all aware of what needs to be done. And if somebody steps across the line, we know that there's going to be some consequences, but we don't want to knock anybody out. We just want to make it one hard hit, and then we're over. Okay? So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Bren. And Bren, I'm going to ask you to come up and pronounce your last name for me. I can't quite read this.
I'll just start by going by Bryn. Last name Brito.
Bria, okay.
I was just going to say a joke, but I'm going to restrain myself. Attorney for Tide and Tonic, 1240, former resident, Launches Circle. I will be candid with the board. I know that I've been working a lot as far as speaking with all of you about reading these ordinances and giving you my opinions. I am going to follow up with a letter this week I have not fully read the new ordinance. What scares me is the enforcement, because at the last meeting, we had several of the women that live in Launches Circle saying that they didn't want police officers in their home in order to make noise complaints, and they wanted the noise ordinance to be scheduled to be outside of their homes. And what I've heard from feedback from the community is that that was something that you were moving toward, which I find to be inherently unfair. If you're going to make a complaint, you have to at least be able to have the complaint from the premises of your home, your boundaries of your home. I have stood outside this past week with musicians that are playing. The effort made by Ms. Cole is incredible as far as changing the venue, changing the dynamic of the bands that are playing there. But at the same time, 60 decibels is very low. And I've stood at the end of our property, and just talking can be 60 decibels. So I just warned the council to be really careful. I saw in some of the language that it was up for y'all to determine some of the parameters. Please at least go stand out there and see what 60 decibels sounds like, because it can be someone talking 3 feet away and might not even have anything to do with the band. So it's a little bit dangerous, and that's why I'm really impressing on you to make sure it comes from the person's house. Again, and I agree with Ms. Cole, a $500 fine is exorbitant. And I believe, truly, I'll warn you now, I think it's going to come back and bite everybody where you don't want to be bitten. When normal neighbors, I know we're all targeting Tide and Tonic, clearly that's what's happening, but when normal neighbors and other restaurants start getting fined $500 2-3 times a month, you know, that's going to be a problem. That's a really high fine for a noise ordinance. So I do think everyone's worked really hard on this, and I think that that's really great. And I know that most specifically, the most targeted business is Tide, and I think that Tide has risen to the occasion and deserves the respect of not only this council, but certainly the neighbors. And we look forward to moving forward in this in a way that's peaceful, that doesn't require more work than necessary. So I think the answer's there. I think we're really close, and thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that's all I have for speaker cards. Bring it back to council. I'm going to go ahead and start off on this. I have spent quite a bit of time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. Denise Lambert.
I'm Denise Lambert. I live at 123 Lanches Circle, and I too, like Kevin, would just like to thank Ms. Cole for everything that you have done. It's unbelievable. A little bit of music wafting up. I have not heard one of my neighbors complain at all. And you know, for me, I look forward to going down and, you know, having lunch or dinner and bringing friends with me. So I really appreciate the work that everybody's done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now I have no more speaker cards. All right, I'll bring it back to council. I'll go ahead and state my thoughts on this and what I think needs to be done to what we have before us in terms of the latest draft. I noticed in the language, it basically, there's a couple of conflicting areas, but one, it has to do with warnings versus issuing citations. There is a it's item A at the top of page 12. A and B. So A says a violator who shall be appropriately cited. I don't know if that is the intent of that is warning or a citation. And then item B says he or she may issue a written violation. That's in reference to our law enforcement. And then in other places it talks about shall issue citation. Now, my point isn't to point out the discrepancies there, but that does need to be cleaned up depending on which direction we go tonight. But I'm concerned about doing that. I think initially I thought, well, maybe that makes sense, but I do not think that makes sense, and for a couple of reasons. One, I think that a warning is appropriate. If somebody complains and the police officer comes out, measures for decibel levels, goes to call it the potential offender, and it states that they immediately have to rectify the situation. You know, if they don't do that, if they don't correct it immediately, then give them a citation. They deserve it at that point. But I think a warning is in order. Now, we're all we keep talking about, or, you know, the atmosphere about this, you know, this is not the Titanic ordinance. And so remember, if we are going to go with a no warning scenario, that means that for somebody who's having a kid's party at their house, likely they're going to violate a noise ordinance. So are you really going to want to show up, have our police officers show up and issue a $100 fine, $125 fine without a warning? And that goes for anything else. You could be out cutting your grass or, you know, having your leaf blower going or something like that. Those are very loud things. And we would be in a position of having to consistently issue citations without warning, regardless of what the use is. And that's the way I'm reading this. So I think it is first warning, and then if it's not immediately corrected, then you get a citation. Simple as that. So that's the first thing, is the warnings. The second thing is the decibel level. Paragraph 6 for amplified sound on page 14, it references amplified sound being limited to 60 decibels. But our table 1 on the prior page for all other uses that aren't listed lists 65 decibels. I know Councilmember Boone is not here tonight. He was concerned about consistency, and on this particular thing, I think it does make sense to be consistent. And I think that 60 is that's such a low level. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of a change, but it is. Ambient noise can easily be close between 55 and 60 as it is, and that's without any amplified music. So I would push for the 65 decibels to be applied to this. I mean, you got all these other uses that are allowed to go to 65 decibels. I don't understand why that would not apply to this use as well. And then lastly is the fines. I cannot agree with the $500 fine. I am okay with the $100 fine. I think the initial one is 100, and then it goes, I think, to 200 or 250. Right. I
That's
think
the $500 fine.
I think paragraph F needs to be stricken completely. I don't agree with that. That's too much money. It just is. We can't just be thinking about amplified music. You've got to think about every violator out there. So, for what it's worth, that's my input. And of course, other council members will have their input as well. So that's the way I'd like to see it go. And I think if we can, we can come to an agreement tonight, we can finally get this thing ready for its first reading.
Can I just clarify a couple
course.
points? When you were referring to on page 12, A and B, subparagraph A uses the term shall, not in reference to the officer shall issue a citation. What it is defining is the person who should get the citation, if there is one to be issued under B. Okay, so that's
Okay.
why. So it's identifying
Fair enough.
who. Okay, and as far as the decibel levels, I staff doesn't care one way or the other. The chart is the starting point.
I understand.
Okay, and it does say if there's any other decibel level provided in the ordinance, then that's going to control. So
I understand.
and that's just want to make that clear.
My bigger point on that is simply that I think it is, there's so many other uses listed in here that have a higher decibel level than 60, and several of them that have, considerably higher than that, 75, I think, it goes up to. I get there are different types of uses too, but I'm still, I do think that 65 is very appropriate.
There's two levels in paragraph 6, amplified sound. One is the sound between the 8 and 10, which we have as 60. Anything after 10 p.m. drops down to 55. So you just need to discuss.
I'm okay with the 55 on that one.
Okay.
Because it should be dropped, theoretically, everything's supposed to stop at 10, so it goes back down to ambient sound levels. So that's why, in my opinion, that's,
Okay.
it should just, we can leave that 55 alone, but I think the 60 needs to change to 65. So with that, Deputy Mayor Gerton.
I feel the same way on, as far as the price you have to pay for warning's fine, 100, fine. I think you go to 250. That's the second fine, 250. How many fines are we going to give?
As many as it takes.
You know, so you give a fine of 250, you come back out and give another fine of 250. That's where I'm at.
It's up to the.
That's where I'm
At
at.
that point, it's up to the offender.
Yeah.
To take corrective actions.
Yeah, so I think, the warning first time, then you get, second time you get 100, and then the next time you get 250. And that stays there until the new year.
So you'd be in favor of eliminating the $500?
Yes, I would. We hit them with 250 and 250. And, we want to work with them, and they want to work with us, hopefully. And they want to work with the people that live close to them. So.
Okay. Councilmember Hume.
Well, I do agree there is a big difference between 60 decibels and 65. I've been on the balcony and heard what 60 sounds like, and that, I believe, is reasonable. 65, it's not just like turning a radio dial. It goes up a little bit. It's kind of builds on itself. I would be leaning more towards the 60 decibels personally. Also, it is not just a tide and tonic ordinance. In our preparation, we have a list of loud noise complaints. And when I was reviewing this, the dates are not on here, but it talks about the citation issued and the location and description. And on Atlantic Boulevard, there was loud music and band practice, and I see they were given a warning one day. And then again, there's another warning, but I'm not sure of the time frame in between these. But Atlantic Boulevard, the same loud noise complaint is given again. And so I think when we're doing our ordinance, that's what we want to prevent, is chronic offenders, people who just will not comply. Most people, and I always like to tell my little human story about my son when he was a teenager, and we had a band in the garage for one day till someone called the police and they came. And of course, being a responsible citizen, I said, knock it off. And there was never another noise complaint at my house. So, but then there are people apparently like this Atlantic Boulevard address that they continue to not comply. So in that case, and everybody, I agree, we have to have a warning, of course, for the first time. For anybody deserves a warning. But then after that, when it's the same address and the same problem, they need to know that they're going to be fined. And so I am really thinking that we need to, 65 would be the absolute max decibel level, but I've heard what 60 sounds like, and I know the minute it gets at 65, it does become annoying. And as far as the fines, they're probably pretty good the way they are, as noted in this ordinance. as long as they're enforced and when people are in violation. And then the only other comment I have is on page, let me look it up here, and it was probably more or less just a typo, but here it's circled. On page 14, in number 5, domestic power tools, it talks about it needs to have an ending time. It says about the decibel level of 55 between 8 p.m. and then the other ending time is missing. So that
Minor
needs to be
correction.
added, but that's minor. But those are my thoughts.
Okay. Councilmember Dyer.
Yeah, I can agree with just cleaning it up to make it just 65 and 60 to make sense. And I also agree with getting rid of the $500. Just wanted to clarify with the attorney that I think that was a recommendation by the property line. It's still in the ordinance. I didn't see any of the changes. It's still the threshold of the property, correct?
Yeah, we left in there where the receiving property is residential, you measure it at the line of the permitted
building.
structure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're not going any closer than that. And it's measured to where the nearest point of the offending music is coming from, the nearest point where it's coming from. So it's a good distance. It's not, I'm aware of some municipal ordinances that you go to the property line of the offending property, that's where you measure it. I know there are ordinances out there that say that. It's a little
Yeah, I agree.
draconian.
I just wanted to clarify that it was
Yes, sir.
from the
Okay.
property.
We have not
So, because
changed
that's what I would agree with as well,
Yes, sir.
so.
Okay. So,
Mr. Mayor, can I make another point here? And
of course,
if you go to page 14 under number 6, you'll see the second set of red remarks says for purposes of this subsection. You see where that starts? Okay, well, when we first did this, we were obviously concerned about the amplified music, but then staff, after we did this, sat down and said, you know what? We need to make that standard that we're going to adopt by resolution applicable across the board. So the guy with the power tools should be under the same standard as the people playing amplified music. So what we're going to suggest, depending on how the council moves here, is that particular language there, we're going to move to the general language of the ordinance applicable to everybody, not just applicable to the amplified sound. So we're going to make it across the board.
talking about just the bottom part that's in red.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
So when we do the resolution establishing the standards,
Sure.
it's going to apply across the board.
That's fair.
And the reason why we're doing it by resolution is because if it's not working, we can change a resolution in one meeting instead of going through 2 readings of an ordinance and going through that. And, look how long it's taken. So, we tried to make that a faster process. If this isn't working, those standards, we can change it in one meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we make those changes as we've stated tonight.
Okay,
So-
so let's be clear on those,
Yes.
please.
So, can I?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So we're going to include, a warning. Each time a police officer is called out there, you get a warning, and if you don't immediately comply, then you get a citation. And that can repeat itself.
Okay, I misunderstood then what some of the council members were saying. My understanding is if I go to an address, first time after this is adopted, you're going to get a warning. Next time I go out there, whether it's a week later, 2 months later, it's no longer a warning, it's a citation. That's how I understood it, and maybe,
And that's what I support.
and that's what I want other council members to,
I'm on the same way.
okay.
Agreed.
So one warning, that's it. You get one free shot.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Scott, that's how I understood,
Okay.
so I'm
That's-
sorry.
All right, and then,
Can I ask a question on that?
yes.
Written in such a way where the officer does not have any latitude, that it's going to be shall,
See, that's
where, you know,
where I struggle with it. I just
No.
do.
Because it says may, I
Subparagraph
believe
B
it says
said
may,
may.
right? And B says may,
It says
so
it-
it's
it's
discretion.
So it's may.
It's
It's
discretion.
So it is a may.
We have subparagraph B that still says may.
so they still get the warning, and then they
Yes.
may get a citation after that. It's kind of discretionary
And
based on the
that's where the
situation.
standards are
Okay.
gonna come
How
into
long
play,
and-
the standards, because,
Okay.
we're gonna sit there and measure it, and if it peaks once
Yeah,
while we're
that's-
there, and the other 6 times it doesn't,
Okay.
we're setting a standard that's not gonna cite the guy for that.
All right,
That's how we, as staff, understood it.
okay. So then the second thing is.
I
the-
think Ms. Hume still has a question.
Well, I just want to say, as long as it is enforced,
That's,
you
I
know, we
think that's
want
the whole point.
enforcement.
I think that's the whole point of this,
Correct.
cleaning up this ordinance, is taking out as much of the subjectivities we possibly can.
Yes.
And relying on decibel readings. Speaking of which, so decibel reading of 65 decibels,
That's
And-
fine.
and then getting rid of the $500 citation.
So are we,
I would entertain a motion.
are we going 100 and then 250, or are we going, what is the scale on
Whatever the
that?
first two are, where it doubles it, I guess.
Yeah, we're
because
eliminating the 500.
So we're going 100 first time and then 250?
It's,
100, and again, depends on where in the process it is, but the fines range from 100 to a maximum of 250.
Well, what I'm saying is, if I'm out there and I violated, I got a warning, he came back out a week later, I violated again, I'm gonna go ahead and pay 100. And a week later, I violated again,
250.
We're
I'm gonna pay 250?
Again, I understand it to be, if it's a repeat violation, it's going to be 250.
250.
Okay, so the warning counts as
A warning.
warning.
Okay.
So then it's 250.
No, then it, no. then it's
100,
100,
then 250.
then
250.
Good, finally got it there.
there we go. All right. So now I need a motion from somebody.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the changes noted, 65 and 50. The one warning, the initial fine would be 100 and then 250 towards the noise ordinance,
And eliminating the.
and then eliminating the 500.
Okay.
Is there anybody besides me that thinks it should be 60 decibels?
Not me.
Not I.
Nope.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Dyer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Gerton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0.
We'll get you back in ordinance for first reading on the 27th. Mr. Mayor, may I be excused?
Excuse me? Oh, yes.
Thank
You may be excused.
Thank you. See you.
Okay, next item is item number 5. This is the interlocal agreement with Brevard County related to the city's stormwater utility assessment program. This is to consider approval of an interlocal agreement with Brevard County to continue to use Brevard County for administrative services related to the stormwater utility assessment program. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. In 1992, the city adopted a municipal stormwater utility code in non-ad valorem tax program as authorized by Florida statutes. The city, for recent years, have used the services of Brevard County for administrative services related to the adoption of the annual rate and roll. The attached interlocal agreement updates this agreement based upon agreed set of services and establishes specific deadlines for the city regarding future notices of intent to increase the assessment rate and the adoption of the annual rate and roll. No other significant changes are proposed within the new interlocal agreement. And as with most agreements that are brought before this board, there is an opt-out feature of a 120-day notice. Either side can basically end the agreement. Therefore, staff recommends City Council approve the interlocal agreement with Brevard County to continue to use them for the administrative services related to our stormwater utility assessment program.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone on council have any comments on this item? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement with Brevard County to continue the use of Brevard County for administrative services related to the city's stormwater utility assessment.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hume. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Deputy Mayor Gerton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 6, public hearing, resolution number 755, adopting the fiscal year 25 stormwater utility rate. This is to consider adopting resolution number 755, implementing the fiscal year 25 stormwater utility assessment rate of $72 a year for equivalent residential units. I will read the resolution into the record. A resolution of the City of Indian Harbor Beach, Brevard County, Florida, increasing the stormwater utility fee pursuant to Section 16.5 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Indian Harbor Beach, providing for conflicts and providing an effective date. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Our Code of Ordinances require the city to hold an annual public hearing before adopting the stormwater utility non-ad valorem assessment. Recommended for fiscal year 25 is a rate of $72 per equivalent residential unit, which is a $24 a year increase. The rate had not been increased since 2007, and the impacts of inflation have basically eroded that in half. This new rate would generate approximately $114,000 gross receipts to address the backlog of state-mandated pollution loading reduction projects. FY25 gross receipts of approximately $343,000 are earmarked for a continuation of local matching money for state appropriation-funded Baffle Box project, rain barrel waterfront buffer rebate programs, and maintenance work to continue the efforts to reduce flooding and improve water quality at Indian River Lagoon. Staff recommends adoption of resolution number 755, implementing the fiscal year 25 stormwater utility assessment rate of $72 a year for equivalent residential units.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. If you wish to speak on this, please go ahead and fill out a speaker card and provide it to our city clerk. So I'll open the public hearing portion for this item. Seeing no takers on that, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to council. Does anyone in council have any comments? Deputy Mayor Burton.
Basically, this is normal throughout all the cities, what undergoes here for the stormwater.
Councilmember Hume.
Well, it is definitely time to raise the rate. It's been the same for all those years since its inception, and it does help so your homes don't flood. It's important.
Okay, Councilmember Dyer.
Yeah, I agree, and make a motion to adopt the resolution number 755, implementing the fiscal year 25 stormwater utility assessment rate of $72 a year for equivalent residential units.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Dyer, a second by Deputy Mayor Gerton. I will say that, the cost of construction has gone up substantially, especially with drainage, piping, and structures and whatnot. And this has been in effect since 1992. I know it's an increase. Nobody likes to vote for increases, but it's time. We kind of have to do this. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. On to item number 7. This is public hearing. This is resolution number 756, adopting the annual stormwater utility non-ad valorem assessment roll for fiscal year 24-25. This is to consider adoption of resolution number 756, adopting the fiscal year 24 stormwater utility non-ad valorem assessment roll containing gross receipts of $342,628.92 derived from a $72 a year equivalent residential unit rate. I will read the resolution into the record. Resolution number 756, a resolution of the City of Indian Harbor Beach, Brevard County, Florida, adopting a budget for the operation and maintenance of the city's stormwater management program for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024, providing certification of the annual stormwater utility assessment roll, incorporating the stormwater utility fee rates pursuant to Section 16-5 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Indian Harbor Beach, and resolution number 755, adopted August 13th, 2024, providing for conflicts and providing an effective date. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Most of the information I previously spoke about under the rate holds for the assessment roll. For those who are not well-versed in government speak, the assessment roll is 820 pages of listing each parcel of what the equivalent residential unit charge is per parcel. The City Council has to adopt that roll, thereby levying the charges per each property. That is what this agenda item does. Therefore, staff recommends adoption of resolution number 756, adopting the fiscal year 25 stormwater non-ad valorem assessment roll containing gross receipts of approximately $343,000 derived from a $72 a year equivalent residential unit rate.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing, so if you wish to speak on this item, please fill out a speaker card and hand it to our city clerk. Seeing no takers on that, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council. Anybody on council have any comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt resolution number 756. FY24 stormwater utility non-ad valorem assessment roll containing gross receipts of $342,628 and change derived from a $72 a year equivalent residential unit rate.
Second.
We have a motion by Deputy Mayor Gerton, a second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Mr. Mayor,
Aye.
Sorry.
if I could just point a clarification, I had a typo in that recommended motion. It should say the fiscal year 25 stormwater utility. If Deputy Mayor Gerton could just amend his motion to make sure we dot all the i's this year.
Frank, can you restate your motion?
What do you want what do you need in there?
Instead of saying fiscal year 24, say fiscal year 25.
I can handle that. We need to redo it or just sub in? Let's sub in fiscal year 25 for fiscal year 24.
I second the amended motion.
Okay. An amended motion by Deputy Mayor Gerton and an amended second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 8, first reading ordinance number 2024-04, a new Florida gas franchise agreement. This is to consider approval on first reading of ordinance number 2024-03, enacting a new 30-year franchise agreement with Florida City Gas. I will read the ordinance into the record. Ordinance number 2024-04, an ordinance of the City Council of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Indian Harbor Beach, Florida, approving and granting to Pivotal Utility Holdings, Inc., DBA Florida City Gas, its successors and assigns, a non-exclusive gas franchise, imposing provisions and conditions relating thereto, providing for monthly payment of a franchise fee to the city, providing for audits, identification of the city boundaries, forfeiture or revocation, and designated representative, providing a non-waiver provision, providing provisions for a right to enforce entirety and governing law, providing for public records, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing a severability clause, and providing for an effective date. City Manager Coffey.
On March 8, 1994, the city adopted Ordinance 9401, granting City Gas a 30-year non-exclusive franchise agreement to provide gas services to the city and allow the limited use of city right-of-ways. Staff approached Florida City Gas, the successor to City Gas, earlier this year to begin negotiations of a new franchise agreement. That draft agreement, as presented, has been vetted through both legal counsels, and agreement was reached last month. The essentials of the prior agreement are carried forward with new agreement with minor changes. As with the old agreement, the new agreement contains a monthly franchise fee payable to the city of 6%, less actual write-offs of sales, transportation, distribution, delivery of natural gas customers within the city. A business impact estimate is attached and was posted on the city's website in accordance with Florida statutes. Therefore, staff recommends City Council approve on first reading ordinance number 2024-04, enacting a new 30-year franchise agreement with Florida City Gas.
Okay. Anyone on council have any comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-04, thank you, on first reading to approve enacting a new 30-year franchise agreement with Florida City Gas.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hume, a second by Deputy Mayor Gerton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 9, RFQ 2024-01. This is ASC Baffle Box Design, award of contract. This is to consider awarding a contract not to exceed $97,000 to Infrastructure Solution Services, LLC, for engineering services to design the Algonquin Sports Complex Baffle Box project. City Manager Coffey.
In accordance with Florida statutes, an RFQ was advertised on May 23rd and June 6th, also in compliance with our city charter, for licensed professional engineering firms for the design of a baffle box at Algonquin Sports Complex. Evaluation committee met and proffered a recommendation, a top-ranked firm of Infrastructure Solution Services to the City Council. On July 9th, the City Council confirmed the ranking and authorized myself to negotiate a contract with the highest-ranked firm. Staff negotiated the attached draft contract with component costs as provided in the agenda memo. Although the design costs exceed the fiscal year 24 budget, due to the late nature of fiscal year 24, the majority of this work will not be completed till next year, and staff believes there'll be either available funding in the Stormwater Fund or General Fund contingency to cover any overage. Of note, this is a pre-design project. The state is getting very interested in having, quote, shovel-ready projects for grant funding and state appropriations. So the concept of this is we design it and it will help us get state money to offset the cost of the city to build the baffle box in future years. Therefore, staff recommends City Council award contract not to exceed $97,000 to Infrastructure Solutions LLC for engineering services to design the Algonquin Sports Complex Baffle Box project.
Okay, thank you. I've reviewed the proposal, and it's pretty much in line with what I would expect to see for this type of a project. So for those reasons, I would recommend approval. Anybody else on council? Right?
Motion to.
You can make a motion if you want.
Motion to award a contract not to exceed 97,000 to Infrastructure Solution Services LLC for engineering services to design the Algonquin Sports Complex Baffle Box project.
Second.
I have a motion by Deputy Mayor Gerton, a second by Council Member, what's your name? Dyer, that's right. Just kidding. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. All right, item number 10, collective bargaining agreement between the City of Indian Harbor Beach and the Florida State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police. This is to consider ratification of the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Indian Harbor Beach and the Florida State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police for the period of October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2027. City Manager Coffey.
Earlier this year, Chief Butler and I met with representatives of Fraternal Order of Police, commonly called FOP, and in 3 negotiating sessions, came up with a tentative proposal that we presented to the City Council in the previous shade meeting. I have listed the specific articles that have changed. Major changes include sunsetting of the deletion of the sunset provision of the shared individual assigned vehicle program language. That is something that we will continue under existing language. There is on compensation, a 3-year agreement for 3% step increases each of the years with a COLA to be determined by the city. There is also language where if the city's annual financial model and capital improvement program shows a deficit of $100,000, the city and FOP will reopen negotiations about wages. Additionally, part of the new agreement is to change the deferred retirement option plan from 3 to 5 years. There's others, and lastly, implementation of a STEP program within the existing pay ranges. Basically, we are dividing the existing pay ranges by 18 steps and slotting people into the nearest step. Chief Butler is here if you have any specific questions of him. Otherwise, staff recommends City Council ratify the collective bargaining agreement between the city and Florida State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police for a period of October 1, 2024 through September 30th, 2027.
Okay, thank you. Anyone in council have any comments or questions?
I just wanted to say I think these changes are going to be good for helping the retention with the retention issue with this police department, and also extending from 3 to 5 years the amount they could stay, keeping that experience around. So it's a good.
That's good. I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
And I will say that we did discuss this in depth at the shade meeting,
Right.
so
Yes, we did.
we've
Right.
covered it.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Motion of the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Indian Harbor Beach and Florida State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police for the period of October 1, 24 through September 30, 27.
Second.
I have a motion by Deputy Mayor Gerton and a second by Councilmember Dyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 11, establishment of an audit selection committee. This is establishment establish the membership of the Audit Selection Committee and determine the first meeting date and time. City Manager Coffey.
The city's current audit firm had a last optional year on their agreement to provide audit services next year for fiscal year '24, the year we're in that ends on September 30th. Late last month, they notified the city they would not be exercising that option. Florida statute has specific requirements for municipalities to follow to selection an audit firm, as outlined in section 218.391, which include the selection committee membership must have a minimum of 3 members, at least 1 member from the city council to serve on that committee and shall be the chair, and staff is prohibited from serving as voting members of the committee. However, it is not uncommon for my position and Comptroller Tom's to serve as advisory roles. Therefore, staff recommends the city council tonight determine the membership of the selection committee. Options include 1 elected official and residents, has been done in the past, or 1 or more elected officials with or without residents, or a subcommittee, or all 5 elected officials without residents. Due to the late timing of our audit firm electing not to work with us next year, staff recommends the city council forego the use of residents this year because we have to have the first committee meeting before we can release the RFP. So 2 things tonight. I request that you determine the membership of the selection committee, and if it is going to be just comprised of the city council, select a date and time for the first meeting so we can get the RFP released as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you. Given the time constraints, it certainly seems to make sense to, at least just for this year, have council serve in that capacity. We don't have much time, and trying to solicit folks from the public and do that in a timely manner and make decisions in a very timely manner is going to be really challenging, if not impossible. So that's my 2 cents on that. I think that's the direction we probably need to go. Anybody else on council have concerns or comments?
The only comment I would have would be a motion.
Any other comments?
No, I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Motion, the city council establish a membership of the audit selection committee tonight and the first meeting date and time.
So that your motion is that city council will serve as the audit selection.
Serve as the audit selection, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll do a meeting and time. Okay, so we have a motion by Deputy Mayor Gerton.
Second.
We have a second by Councilmember Dyer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Now we need to figure out a date.
Okay, I actually have the council chamber calendar open this time, so I won't make the mistake I made at the last meeting.
What's your first available date?
Due to the primary election, next week is out. We have the option of doing it before the 27th meeting, although due to a family medical issue, I would not be available for that one.
That's out.
We could do Monday, the 26th, or Wednesday, Thursday, the 28th or 29th, or the following week is September 4th and 5th on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So would you say August, those last dates?
August, this is evening meetings.
Yeah.
If the council wanted to do a daytime meeting, you could do that also, but Monday, the 26th, Wednesday, the 28th, or Thursday, the 29th are,
Monday's clear by me. I don't know. How about you?
The 28th is the only day I'm available.
The 28th is good with me.
I can't do the 27th, 28th, or 29th, so.
So we go to September.
September 4th or 5th.
5th, I'm available.
5th is good.
And what time would you like?
Evening.
I don't know, you guys want to do, you want to do 6 o'clock?
You pick it.
6 o'clock work for you guys?
You pick it.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
So much power.
I'm 5 minutes away.
Okay.
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m.
What date was that?
September
Number
5th.
5th.
Wait, that's football. No, I'm just kidding.
What date was that?
Thursday, September 5th.
5th.
Okay. In the calendar. All right, item number 12, South Beaches Coalition Interlocal Agreement. This is to consider authorizing the city manager to execute the interlocal agreement regarding voting representation on the Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization, otherwise known as the SCTPO, Governing Board for the South Beaches Coalition. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The current interlocal agreement between the municipalities of Indian Atlantic, Indian Harbor Beach, Melbourne Beach, and Satellite Beach for voting representation on the Space Coast TPO expires at the end of this year. A draft interlocal agreement extending that agreement through 2033 is attached. The years of representation are listed in the agenda memo. Staff recommends City Council authorize me to execute the interlocal agreement for voting representation on the Space Coast TPO Governing Board.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on council have any comments?
Yes, the Space Coast, or the South Beaches Coalition has been in effect for quite some time, but there was a time when beachside cities did not have a voice on the Transportation Planning Organization. It was just the large cities. So it's very important that we do keep the South Beaches Coalition going and have a representative, because it gives our beachside folks a voice on transportation planning projects. So I am supporting this.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
No, I'm in favor of it as well, and I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute the interlocal agreement for voting representation on the Space Coast Transportation Planning Organization Governing Board.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Dyer, a second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 13, deferment of the second floor City Hall security upgrade project due to the cost and lack of a second bid, to not award a contract for the second floor City Hall security upgrade and defer the project until fiscal year 26. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Beginning in 2022, the City Council discussed the needs to improve security at City Hall, which resulted in various actions. The last one was the upgrade of the second floor area to have electronic door access to prevent people just wandering around, and to harden the receptionist area. City staff had construction plans drawn. Approximate construction cost estimate of $55,000 was given by the design team. And on May 21st, we issued an invitation to bid for this project and received 0 responses. We reissued the bid on July 11th and received 1 bid in the amount of $165,000. I believe part of the lack of bids and the high price on this is that it's a relative small project in a complex environment, in that we're not shutting City Hall down for the project, and there'll be foot traffic throughout the project when the tradespeople are working. In fiscal year 26 is the planned construction of an annex at the fire station, and I believe if we defer this project until that time, it is possible to get a better unit pricing on the work, possibly from the contractor who would be just down the road working at the fire station. Although the project is warranted for security reasons, I've spoken to the people most impacted by not doing this project, and they feel comfortable with the status quo for the next few years. So therefore, staff recommends the city not award contract and defer this project until fiscal year 26.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on council have any comments?
No, the follow-up on what John said, did talk to a few staff people myself, and they were fine with what was happening, what we were doing in the meantime.
Okay. Anybody else? I would entertain a motion.
Motion to, because of a lack of a second bid, defer the project until FY '26. That's my motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Deputy Mayor Curtin, second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 14, fiscal year 25 to 29 capital improvement plan. This is to adopt the fiscal year 25 to 29 5-year capital improvement plan. City Manager Coffey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is a slightly irregular agenda item in that adoption of the plan is informally done with the adoption of the annual budget, because the 5-year capital plan is a part of your budget document. However, staff is pursuing applying for 2 Florida Recreation Development Assistant grants to offset the costs of Algonquin expansion. The 2 grants would basically award us $312,500 for projects that we plan to do with our own money. One of the unique features of the FERDAP grant program, that's the Florida Recreation Development Assistance, is they award points for certain actions that the city does in the grant application. One way we receive points is get a letter from a community group supporting it. Another way of getting points is an advisory board supporting the grant applications. The Tree Preservation Board will be considering supporting these 2 projects next week to maximize our points. Another way of showing maximizing points is having an adopted 5-year plan. So this agenda item requests that you adopt the plan that you reviewed. It does not encumber any money. It does not obligate you to do anything in the 5-year window. You do that through your annual budget adoption. What this does is allow us to truthfully say we have an adopted 5-year plan in our grant applications. So therefore, staff recommends the City Council adopt the fiscal year 25 to 29 5-year capital improvement plan as previously reviewed.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on council have any comments?
Make a motion to adopt the fiscal year 25 through 29 5-year capital improvement plan.
Second.
Ooh, that's a tie. Motion by Councilmember Dyer, second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next is public forum. Anybody out there in the large audience we have wish to come up and speak, you'll need to fill out a speaker card, hand it to our city clerk. It is for anything, but
Yep.
yeah, can you please, you filled out a speaker card, but it was for the noise ordinance. Is this something different? I can still use your speaker card for that since it's the same item. But if anybody else wishes to speak, please fill out a speaker card and turn it into the city clerk.
I'd just like to say that we are a little bit disappointed with the 65 decibels. I hope that they continue to do what they have been doing, because from 60 to 65, it's twice as loud. So I don't know what it's been lately, but it has been good. So I just hope that they keep that up and don't take advantage of, the way this is written at 65 decibels.
I understand, and I think I said it before that, we can always reapproach this if it becomes problematic.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think we have somebody, a couple people filling out a card. No pressure at all. Angela Hill.
Hello, Angela Hill, 123 Launcha Circle, Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. I kind of was filling that out and overhearing a little bit. I do appreciate that maybe there'll be an opportunity at a later date. I want to echo much better since some of the recent changes were made. I agree with the having a warning to start, a first warning makes sense. That seems reasonable. I did want to, just to clarify, when I did come up here to say I had some concerns about having to have the police in my home each time, it's just because when you have a situation, if you have a repeat offender where you're feeling like you need to do this now on the regular, it starts to become somewhat intrusive to have to be like, oh, every weekend, I guess I'll just be doing that. Particularly if there's no incentive, if there's going to be no zoning laws that prevent someone from building and being very close to where I live, where it's financially, there's incentive for them to play loud music and they can bring in the crowds and make a lot of money, then it feels like you're very powerless. Like, how can I make sure that there's no incentive for them to do that and for that to be a recurring problem? I'd like to think that if everything stays the same and continues as it's been going, this is going to be a totally non-issue. I hope to never call the police again. But I just wanted to say, it did strike a little fear in my heart that we kind of did some reversals on some of those things, just because it felt like those are some protective measures to prevent what occurred, which was quite unpleasant for the last few months, and it's gotten a lot better, and I'm feeling very positive about that. But thank you all for listening to me for the last 3 months, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Gabriela Cabrera. Gabby. Come up, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Gabby Cabrera, 651 Palm Drive, Satellite Beach, Florida. My kids are zoned for ocean breeze, and speaking of Algonquin, like if you're coming up on that road, I believe there's a sign that says bike route. I grew up on Timpucci. That was always the bike route we would take to get to, that side of Satellite to cut through. Anyway, my kids take that in the mornings to walk to school, walk back, and 7:30, my kid FaceTimes me. He's like, Mom, the gate's locked. And I'm like, already across the bridge going to work. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm turning around, going back. And finally the rec guy gets there like 7:34. And I'm like, hey, I get on speakerphone. I'm like, hey, what time do you open the gate? He's like, oh, well, it opens at 9. And I'm like, well, it's 7:30. So that just was a major concern. But the doors for Ocean Breeze open at 7:30. So I'm seeing what we can do to maybe have that gate open so the kids can walk through. Because I know not only my kids walk through there, and to walk to DeSoto, it's going to be like another 20 minutes. My 5-year-old starts Ocean Breeze next year. His feet, he's so tiny. It's going to take him forever.
Okay.
So maybe we can get somebody to come open it like earlier, maybe give a key to the cross guard or Officer Jen or someone. I'm sure Officer Jen wouldn't mind. She loves Gavin. But I really, really need to get this issue out there so everyone knows that, like, the kids need to cut through there. If not, they have to go through A1A or DeSoto, and it's just a lot. So
Okay.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. John, can we look into doing something to make accommodations? Okay. All right. Seeing no more speaker cards, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilmember Dyer,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hume. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned. Good meeting, Lord. That was a long one. Long one.
So it's,